Film director Ridley Scott is showing no signs of slowing down despite being in his early 80s. In fact, in recent years he's actually been more prolific, sometimes releasing one film per year, and in fact in 2017 released two, with Alien Covenant and All the Money in the World. Coming from the world of TV ads, Scott is skilled in shooting a film quickly, thanks to numerous tips and tricks he utilizes, such as storyboarding every scene in a film, and using multiple cameras, sometimes as much as 8 per scene from different angles, to shorten the length of a shoot. Scott's got a new movie coming out that I'm quite interested in. It's called The Last Duel, and at the time of the making of this video, the filming has been halted due to the virus pandemic. It centers around King Charles VI having a dispute with Knight Jean de Carroux, I think that's how you pronounce it, and declares the dispute to be settled by a duel. This is considered the last officially recognized judicial duel in France, and it has a pretty good cast with close friends Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and also the likes of Adam Driver is in the film. It sounds interesting, even if the set photos make it look like a Monty Python spoof film. It seemingly harks back to one of my favourite Scott movies, The Duelist, his first ever film, which features Harvey Keitel and Keith Carradine engaging in a school of duels spanning several years. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth checking out. Scott is a very hit-and-miss director. He's made a few clunkers over the years, and some might argue the increase in frequency of his recent output has hampered with the quality of his movies. But when he makes a hit, it usually is a proper hit. Let's not forget, this is the director of Blade Runner, Alien, Gladiator and American Gangster, among others. One of the most exciting things about his films is that he tackles so many different genres. Although it will be selling him short to compare him to a workman-like director of the classic Hollywood age, Scott does have many traits associated with the workman film director, most notably that he needs a good script to make a good film. That's usually the make or break thing with his films. He doesn't write his own films, and usually the quality of his finished movie is dependent on the script. All the other technical departments of his movies, the acting, the production design, the cinematography, the visuals, usually everything is consistently on point. As a huge fan of the Alien franchise, I'm still scarred by Prometheus and Alien Covenant, and it's frustrating to think that most of what's wrong with those movies lies in the screenplay. Anyway, it's not only because I'm cautiously excited for this new film that I want the filming to quickly recommence, but because of Scott's next film after The Last Duel. Of course, he's attached to so many different films at the same time, this might not even be his next film, but it is shaping up to be, and what intrigues me more than anything else is the cast. Scott's next project after The Last Duel is thought to be a true crime Gucci film. It follows Patrizia Reggiani, who went to prison in 1999 for killing her ex-husband Maurizio Gucci, whose grandfather founded the clothing company Gucci. Sounds interesting, and the only actor confirmed for the film for a while was Lady Gaga, the famous singer. I can't comment on her acting abilities, I haven't seen enough of her, but she is highly praised for her roles in American Horror Story and A Star is Born. Anyway, recently some really interesting casting news came, with some huge names attached to this project, with Deadline reporting that Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Adam Driver, Jaret Leto, Jack Huston and Reeve Carney are in talks for the film. That is a stacked lineup. But before you get excited, this is a roster of actors who are in talks to sign on for the film. A lot of news outlets online are saying the likes of Pacino and De Niro are confirmed that they're in the film, perhaps to generate more clicks, and they're all getting their information from Deadline. But Deadline themselves have only said that these actors are in talks to star in the film. So realistically speaking, many of these actors, perhaps even all of them, might end up dropping out of the film. Some of them might be up for the same role. There's loads of things that could happen between now and when the film, if ever, is released, so there's no point getting too excited. The release date of this movie was originally November 2021, but that was before the pandemic and is very likely going to be pushed back, as Scott's The Last Duel is probably going to come out in the fall of 2021 now. If those guys do end up in the film, that would be incredible. It's no indication of how good the movie will be, of course, but guys like Adam Driver and Jared Leto are very capable actors, but the possibility of De Niro and Pacino in the same film again is a very exciting prospect. The two legendary actors, perhaps my two favourite of all time, have been in 4 films together, on screen together in 3 of those, most recently in Martin Scorsese's The Irishman. It was fantastic to see the two actors together, and they both delivered knockout performances, their very best in recent years after a string of terrible movies for about 20 years. We don't know what roles they're up for, or whether they would even share any screen time, but the two veterans are in such crap movies these days it's a huge thing for them to even be in a decent film, let alone in a decent film with each other. Aside from The Irishman, Pacino's been in a string of little TV movies and independent pictures of varying quality, nothing to really shout about. He had a cameo in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and a major role in the Amazon Prime Nazi hunting series Hunters. He's been announced to star in a new King Lear adaptation, and has finished filming a World War II drama called Axis Sally. Aside from that, there's not much on the plate for Pacino. De Niro, on the other hand, has been in the limelight quite a bit. Ignoring The Irishman, the films he stars in, like Dirty Grandpa or Heist, are probably worse than Pacino's, but they're much more well known. This trend seems to be continuing with films like The War with Grandpa, a kids' film, although I'm hoping The Comeback Trail is going to be good, an action comedy from the writer of Midnight Run, in which 2 movie producers who own money to the mob set up their aging movie stars in an insurance scam to get the cash. But I don't have my hopes up. But in addition to this, he's had mild success with the likes of The Intern and The Wizard of Lies. And let's not forget his part in the Joker movie. He also seems to have rejuvenated his partnership with Martin Scorsese after The Irishman, as he's going to be in the director's next movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Killers of the Flower Moon, in a really good role. There's a few other interesting sounding projects he's attached to, like a 1980s set coming-of-age story from James Gray called Armageddon Time. So are you excited for Ridley Scott's new movie? What do you think of him as a director? What do you think of the proposed cast of Gucci? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.